The halls of the council chamber on the planet Lumeria were vast, bathed in soft golden light that shimmered off the crystalline walls. Humans were a rarity here, often subjects of curiosity or suspicion, and the council's eyes now rested uneasily on one of their kind. Elias, the human, felt the weight of every gaze pressing down on him. He had been summoned unexpectedly from a ship orbiting the planet, and now he stood in a room filled with towering alien figures, their forms both regal and intimidating. "You understand the terms," said Counselor Kiran, a figure whose voice carried authority and quiet menace. "You are to marry Princess Lyra, the youngest of the royal lineage. Refusal is not an option." Elias swallowed. His mind raced. He had come to Lumeria to establish trade relations, not to become part of a political arrangement he did not understand. The thought of marrying an alien princess, someone whose life and culture were entirely foreign, was daunting. Yet he had learned long ago that survival sometimes meant following orders, no matter how absurd they seemed. "I understand," he said carefully, keeping his tone neutral. "But I must ask, why me?" Counselor Kiran's eyes narrowed. "You carry the mark of humanity's resilience. The elders believe it will bring balance to the succession. Your presence is symbolic." Elias nodded. Symbolic or not, he had little choice. He was escorted through a series of corridors that led to the royal palace, an architectural marvel that seemed to grow organically from the landscape. The walls pulsed with faint light, and the air hummed with energy he could not identify. When he was brought before Princess Lyra, he was surprised. She was not the imposing figure he had imagined. She was young, perhaps barely older than 20 cycles of their calendar, with large eyes that shimmered like liquid silver. Her hair, a cascade of pale lavender, framed her delicate features. Unlike the older royals, she seemed uncertain, almost as if the weight of the arrangement bore heavily upon her as well. "You are Elias?" she asked, her voice soft, carrying a lilting musical quality. "Yes," he replied. "And you are Princess Lyra." She studied him for a moment. "I did not expect a human," she admitted. "I thought they would send someone stronger. Or older." Elias tried to smile. "I may not look it, but humans have a way of surprising people." Her lips curved slightly. For the first time since his arrival, he felt a flicker of warmth in the encounter. The days that followed were awkward. Elias was given quarters within the palace, and Lyra spent hours in tutelage sessions to prepare for their eventual union, though no ceremony had yet taken place. At first, their interactions were formal, stilted, filled with cautious politeness. Elias found himself fascinated by the complexity of Lemurian culture, their ability to manipulate energy fields for communication and technology, and their intricate system of honor and duty. Lyra, on the other hand, seemed intrigued by Elias's human ingenuity. She asked endless questions about Earth, about human customs, about the way his species approached problems with persistence and creativity rather than sheer force. One evening, as the twin moons of Lumeria cast silver shadows across the gardens, Elias found Lyra practicing a ritual dance meant to honor her ancestors. Her movements were precise but hesitant, lacking the confidence that her older sisters displayed. "You don't have to do it perfectly," he said quietly, stepping into the moonlight beside her. "The essence matters more than the form." She paused, her silver eyes meeting his. "Humans have strange ways of understanding things," she said with a faint laugh. "But perhaps that is what I need." It was in those quiet moments that the walls between them began to crumble. They shared stories of their worlds, of fears and hopes, of ambitions and regrets. Elias told her of the endless skies of Earth, of mountains and oceans, and the simple joy of walking under a starry night. Lyra spoke of her childhood within the palace, the weight of expectation, and the loneliness of royalty. Weeks turned into cycles, and the relationship that had begun as a forced arrangement evolved into something more complex. Lyra admired Elias's courage and adaptability, his unwavering moral compass even in the face of danger. Elias, in turn, was captivated by her intelligence, her curiosity, and the subtle strength she exhibited beneath her youthful appearance. Then the first threat arrived. Lumeria had long been at the edge of interstellar conflicts, and a rogue faction of alien mercenaries, known as the Vargan, launched an assault on the capital. The palace, though fortified, was not prepared for the sudden violence. Alarms blared, energy shields flickered, and Elias found himself at Lyra's side, instinctively shielding her from falling debris. "You fight like a Lumerian," she said, astonished. As Elias disarmed an intruder with a combination of human strategy and raw strength. "I fight like a human," he corrected, though a hint of pride colored his tone. The incident changed everything. Lyra's perception of him shifted from curiosity to admiration. She realized that the human she had thought weak or strange was, in fact, formidable. The counselors, who had once looked at Elias with thinly veiled doubt, now nodded in respect. The human's presence had not only protected the princess, but had turned the tide of the skirmish. After the chaos subsided, Lyra took Elias to a secluded balcony overlooking the city. The damage from the attack was visible, but the city still gleamed beneath the twin moons. "Elias," she said, her voice trembling slightly. I never thought a human could be this important to our world." To me, Elias met her gaze, feeling a connection deeper than either politics or obligation. "Lyra, I didn't come here to change your world. I came to survive. But maybe we can change it together." That night, they spoke openly for the first time about the arranged marriage. Lyra admitted that she had feared losing herself in the ceremony, becoming a figurehead for the council's plans. But she now saw that with Elias, the union could be different. It could be a partnership, a blending of strength and intellect, a way to bridge worlds. The council, observing the growing bond, was initially wary. Some feared that a human would not understand the intricacies of Lumerian politics. Others worried that tradition would be broken irreparably. But the attack by the Vargan had demonstrated Elias's worth. Slowly, reluctantly, the elders began to accept that the marriage might serve the kingdom in ways beyond mere symbolism. Months passed, and Elias continued to prove himself. He learned Lumerian techniques, not as a mimic, but as an innovator, blending human creativity with alien methods. He devised new defenses for the city, strategies for diplomacy, and ways to strengthen the fragile alliances that surrounded Lumeria. Lyra was always at his side, offering insight, support, and the occasional gentle rebuke. Their companionship blossomed into trust, trust into partnership, and partnership into love. Elias discovered that human resilience was not just a trait of survival, but a beacon that inspired others, even in a society that had once doubted his worth. Lyra realized that the freedom she sought did not have to be found in rebellion against duty, but in choosing whom to trust and follow. The day of the ceremony arrived under clear skies. The palace courtyard was filled with dignitaries, representatives from neighboring systems, and citizens who had watched the human and the princess grow into their roles. Elias and Lyra stood before the council, no longer strangers forced together, but allies and equals. "You have earned this union," Counselor Chiron said, his tone grudging but sincere. "Not through birthright, but through deeds and character. May it bring prosperity to Lumeria and beyond." As they exchanged their vows, there was a sense of unity that transcended species, tradition, and expectation. It was not just a marriage of convenience, it was a merging of worlds. A testament to human determination and the power of trust and understanding God after the ceremony. Elias and Lyra walked through the palace gardens. the twin moons casting silver paths around them. Lyra took his hand, a gesture natural and unforced. "You know," she said softly, "everything really did shift when you arrived. I thought I would simply be another princess following orders. But you changed how I see everything." Elias smiled. "And you changed how I see myself. I came here as an outsider, but with you, I feel like I belong." The future was uncertain, as it always is, but for the first time, both of them faced it not with fear, but with hope. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, blending human ingenuity with Lemurian wisdom, forging a bond that neither tradition nor danger could break. And in the quiet moments beneath the twin moons, they found a simple truth. Sometimes, the most unexpected unions reveal the strength and potential not just of individuals, but of entire worlds.